Hi, my name is Autif Kamal. This is another workshop on logic and reasoning. This one pertains to propositions. More specifically, it pertains to alternatives for particular quantifiers. In the last video, I went over alternatives for universal quantifiers. Now, the reason why I'm going over this is for the same reason that I went over alternatives for universal quantifiers, which is to give you added flexibility for how to logically express propositions with a particular quantity. But there's an additional reason, which is that the alternative ways for expressing a proposition with a particular quantity may differ in their meaning from the default way that I've been using. And I'll demonstrate that right now. So an example of the default way that I've been expressing a proposition with a particular quantity is as follows. Some exercises cannot be validated without instructor advice. Okay, and I'll show you two alternative ways which are equivalent to each other, but not necessarily equivalent to this default way. At least one exercise cannot be validated without instructor advice, or at the bare minimum, one exercise cannot be validated without instructor advice. Okay, now imagine that there are only 100 exercises. Okay, what some exercises would mean is a number less than 100, but 2 or greater. Okay, and it's 2 or greater because exercises is plural. You're not going to say 1 if it's some exercises. Okay. Now, let's say you can only think of one exercise which cannot be validated without instructor advice. Then it would be outside of your domain of experience to say that some exercises cannot be validated without instructor advice. So then it would be more intellectually cautious of you to only say that at least one exercise, or at the bare minimum one exercise, cannot be validated without instructor advice. And that's basically the difference for when you will use the default way of expressing a proposition with a particular quantity, or the alternative ways for expressing a proposition with a particular quantity. Okay, now here's another example which you will do on your own. You will follow the same format that I gave you for expressing the alternative ways of expressing a proposition with a particular quantity. If you need more time, you can pause the video, otherwise I'll move on to the answers. So at least one sector experiences inexorable decline, or at the bare minimum, one sector experiences inexorable decline. Again, if you can only think of one sector that experiences inexorable decline, then these are the ways that you want to express that. But if you can think of two or more, then you want to say some sectors experience inexorable decline. Okay. Now, if you want more practice, you can go to books.google.com. You can type in a keyword for a search. Initiate your search. Click on Search Tools below the search bar. Then click on Any Books, which is on the left-hand side. You get two options, which would be Preview Available or Free Google eBooks. And then you want to start with Preview Available, and you're going to click on a title. You're going to do a search within that book that you chose. And you're going to press and hold Control, then you'll press F while you're still holding Control. For your search within the book, you'll type in some. You're going to look for inspiration to express a proposition with a particular quantity through the default way. And then after you've formulated that proposition, you will express the same proposition with the alternative ways that I've showed you in this video. Okay? Now, in the next video, I'll show you basically how to convert a negated universal proposition to a positive particular proposition. Okay, and in turn I'll show you how they are equivalent to each other. So I'll give you more details on that in the next video, and thank you for watching.